Welcome back, everybody. Today we're looking at finding the area of trapezoids. The formula for finding the area of a trapezoid is actually pretty similar to the formula for finding the area of a circle. There's really only one difference, and let's go ahead and figure out what that is. The area for a trapezoid is 1/2, and here's the difference between triangles and trapezoids. In a triangle, it was area equals 1/2 base times height. But for finding the area of a trapezoid, we have two bases. So we designate one as base 1, the second one as base 2, and then we multiply by the height. So the area formula for trapezoids is area equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. Now when we look at a trapezoid, the bases are the two parallel lines. So we have one parallel line, and here's our second. Those are our two bases. The height is usually represented, as it is in this case, with a dotted line. So if we were going to solve this problem, all we would need to know is the values of those three things. So let's go ahead and let's put in some values here. Let's say that this is going to represent 6 inches. We're going to have on the bottom 14 inches. And then as our height, let's go ahead and use 8 inches. So if I want to solve this problem, all I have to do is substitute in those three values in the right place in my formula. So let's go ahead and start. I'm going to have area equals 1/2 times, and remember our bases are our parallel lines. So I have 6 and 14 as my two bases. So I have 6 plus 14 inside the parentheses, and then my height is 8 inches. So I have area equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. Now according to order of operations, my next step that I have to solve is the part of the problem that's inside the parentheses. So I'm going to solve 6 plus 14 first, and that will give me 20. So now I have 1/2 20 times 8. This time, I'm just going to go ahead and multiply this in order, and I'm going to say that 1/2 of 20 is 10, and then I still have to multiply that by 8. And at this point, I think we all know what the answer to that's going to be. So we have 10 times 8, which is 80, so the area of this particular trapezoid is going to be 80, and all of these values are in inches, so 80 inches squared. And that's how you find the area of a trapezoid. So I'm going to give you a couple problems, and we're going to see if you can do the same thing. So here's your first practice problem. We're going to split this up onto two different problems. We don't have enough room to fit it all on one. So let's solve this one first. Once again, the formula is area equals 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times height. And I'm going to give you the information you need, and then I want you to pause the video and see if you can solve it for yourself. So let's go ahead and say that this length is 10 feet. We'll say that this length is 6 feet. And we'll call this last bit of information that you need 5 feet. So there you go. Go ahead and solve this. Pause the video. Okay, let's see how we did. So if we're using our formula, we're going to have 1/2, and then remember that our bases are our two parallel lines. So on this particular trapezoid, this line is parallel to this line. So our bases are the 6 and the 10. So if we substitute those values in for the two bases, and then our height would be the, once again, on the dotted line, which would be, in this case, 5. We solve in the parentheses first. 6 plus 10 is 16. So I have 1/2 times 16 times 5. I'm going to go ahead and multiply 1/2 times 16 first, just to make that a little simpler. It's a smaller number now. So 1/2 of 16 is 8, and I have to multiply that still by 5. And when I do that, my final answer comes out to be 40. And remember that we're dealing in feet, so it's 40 feet squared. Okay, let's do one more practice problem. So here we are with our final problem of the day, and as you can see, you have a trapezoid. Hopefully you remember the formula. Go ahead and pause the video and see if you can solve it. Okay, let's see how we did. First off, we have our formula, area equals 1/2, and then the next part is base 1 plus base 2, and if we remember, our bases are our parallel lines. So in this case, our base is going to be 8 and 12. Those are my two bases, base 1 and base 2. And my height, even though it's outside the trapezoid, remember that it's always perpendicular. That's what the little right angle means. My height in this case is 9. So if I solve this problem from here on out, I'm going to solve in parentheses first. 8 plus 12 is 20. So I have 1/2 of 20 times 9. I can multiply 1/2 times 20 to get 10. So now I have 10 times 9, and when I multiply 10 times 9, I get my final answer of 90, and since all of this is in centimeters, it's 90 centimeters, and since I'm dealing with area, which is a two-dimensional space, 90 centimeters squared. So there we have it. Those are the area of all of the trapezoids that we had to work on today. Hopefully you guys did well. If not, rewatch the videos, and I will see you again tomorrow.